were also carried out. During the warmer seasons, the extensive territory of the nunnery is steeped in the aromas of flowers, an image of heaven on earth. And among these bright colours, the domes of the cathedrals stretch up to the heavens themselves, the Troitsky, and beyond it the white stone Preobrazhensky, glittering gold in the sunshine. Across Russia, legends are told of the holy springs of the Divјevo nunnery, and everyone who comes to the nunnery to pray to the relics of Father Seraphim and to go through the holy channel always comes to the springs to drink the holy water, to immerse themselves. And they believe that the prayers of the saints who bless the springs will bring healing to them. The most ancient is believed to be the Kazan spring. It received that name in honor of one of the most revered of icons in ancient Rus, the Kazan icon of the Holy Mother. It appeared here back in the 16th century, when these lands belonged to a Khan named Divej, who gave his name to the settlement. In the vicinity of the nunnery, there are numerous springs and wells where the water gives you good health and strength. The water only has a miraculous effect on those who believe. Not far from the nunnery, there's one spring that's been consecrated in honor of the Reverend Alexandra, the first head of the Divjevo nunnery. This spring used to be in a different position, several dozen meters away, but in the 1960s, it was hidden underwater when a mill pond was created on a local river. Time later, however, the spring broke through to the surface again. The tradition of making pilgrimages to holy springs has long existed, but it has become more widespread in recent times. People come here with hope. Water has long symbolized a magical strength for man, carrying the foundation of life within it. The water from the Mother Alexandra spring is cold, tastes delicious, and most importantly, is genuinely healing. Not only pilgrims and tourists, but even locals come here to collect water, especially as it's close by, in the village itself. The majority of pilgrims also try to visit the Father Seraphim spring. It's 16 kilometers from Divjevo, in the Sarova forests, where the holy man would seek solitude for months and even years. Now there are always many people on the outskirts of this deep forest. The flow of pilgrims to the Seraphim spring grows with each passing year. The Russian Orthodox believers come here to pray to be healed, to have their strength reinforced, and to ask for aid from Father Seraphim. The water in the Seraphim spring is cold. In winter or summer, it's always around 5 to 6 degrees Celsius. Legend has it that the holy man himself came to this spot, after which the spring appeared. Pilgrims now journey to it from all over the world. Several log cabins have been built on the shore. They're bathing huts, and next to them are convenient jetties from which believers can descend into the water, crossing themselves. The pilgrims then have access to this holy spring from every side. Blessing with water began during the early period of Christianity. Following the Lord's example, he blessed the water by immersing himself in it. For centuries, coming to holy springs, people have experienced their powerful healing force. The main thing is that you always remember that this is a reverence not to the spring itself, but to the goodness of the Holy Spirit. Then the believer will be blessed with prosperity and good health. The Holy Trinity Serafima Divjeva Nunnery is one of the largest in Russia. It has about 500 nuns. They also reside in skit hermitages. One is not far from a holy spring. The word skit comes from the Skit Desert, located in the northwestern part of Egypt. Monks lived there in seclusion, taking vows of silence from the 4th century on. Modern skits are often located not far from small villages where there are almost no inhabitants, but old churches have been preserved. The nuns restore the churches and set up their religious way of life. Sometimes, however, these secluded abodes are set up in entirely new sites. This skit of the Serafima Divjeva Nunnery was built in the same forest where for many years the Reverend Seraphim lived in isolation, and that's why it's called the Serafim-Sarovsky Spring. The nuns live in this house. There are just 3 nuns in the skit, and every day they do everything necessary to manage this considerable setup. They grow potatoes, cucumbers, marrows, raspberries and blackcurrants. We believe in the Lord's work, that the Reverend is the master here, that Father Seraphim invites the nuns to work in this skit. He himself chooses who should be in this skit. And the sisters try and live in just the same way as the Reverend, continually doing physical labor and spiritual feats. During our obediences in the skit, all the nuns pray, of course. Everything is done with a prayer, the cooking, the eating, the milking of the cows. It must be done that way. Even our animals. If we start talking, then the cows actually stop eating. The Reverend Serafim Sarovsky said that the monastic way of life on the one hand was very hard, almost too much, but on the other hand, that there was nothing finer. It's an angel's life, he would often say.
Пасха великая, Пасха верных, Пасха двери райские нам отверзающая, Пасха всех освящающая верных, яко исчезает дым, да исчезнут. Придите от видения жены благовестницы, и Сиону рците, примет нас радости благовещения воскресения.
The nunnery's sisters zealously do their obediences, sensing in that not only joy, but also a great responsibility. The Lord called upon them to work in the Serafima Divjeva Nunnery, which people have been traveling to for centuries in reverence and awe. This is, after all, a genuinely holy place. Humble parishioners and priests, nuns from other nunneries, they come here. They require attention, and no one should leave here uncared for and without comfort. It's difficult work. In the nunnery, the sisters live under the special protection of Father Seraphim and the Holy Mother herself. The nuns carry out a procession through the channel every day. One age follows another, but the silent figures in dark clothing, with an icon or rosary beads in hand, follow in the path of the Virgin Mother, offering their prayers. Everyone who's been to the nunnery in Divjeva describes it as divine places on earth. The fourth abode of the Holy Mother, a place where you can sense her protection and pray to the holy relics of the Reverend Serafim Sarovsky. The people's love for Father Serafim is to a great extent a result of the fact that he himself brought people love, humility and charity. And it was noted long ago, anyone who has ever been here wants to return, to walk through the Holy Mother's channel, to drink the waters from the sacred springs and to pray to Father Serafim.